G'day guys and welcome back today to another video on the Drewzy channel for another episode of 9 things we learned from round 16. We've hit 10k ladies and gentlemen. I can't thank you guys enough for supporting the channel. 10,000 subscribers. It's crazy to think. It's been a long journey to get here. I've been in this YouTube game since 2019, so 5 years on, 10,000 subscribers stronger. And I'm loving what I'm doing and the direction that this channel is going. So I thank you guys very much and hope you stay tuned for exciting content in the future. Another great round of football. I had my birthday. I hit 10k. It's been a good weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about the footy. Let's get into it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment down below the things that you learned from this round of footy. Number 1, that was the best Ds we've seen this season, and they lost. The way that the Ds went up to the Gabba and cracked in, they didn't let the bullies bully them. Brisbane are one of the cockiest, most sort of bullyish teams in the competition. If you watch them chirp and get into the players, that's just their brand. That's just who they are. They're not a nice team. The D's got agonisingly close to a massive upset where no one really gave them a chance. Cozzy Pickett was on fire. Their young kids are looking really good. I just think the way that Gawn, May, Lever got nullified out of the game allowed Brisbane to impose more of their brand. That's a massive 4 points loss for the Ds because they haven't been in the greatest form and they will find it hard to make the top 8. So that does sting to drop those 4 points. It could have altered the direction of their season positively. Let's see how they bounce back, but they did look good for the outs that they have. Number 2, flag mantle is real. The Freo Dockers are the team to snap the Sydney Swans unbeaten run. I've been saying it. We're real. We're the real deal. People don't believe me, but when we beat Sydney at the SCG, we are now on the map as one of the best teams in the comp, and you can't tell me otherwise. Our defence was so young. If you look at it on paper, we had Hugh Davies, who's played 2 games, Josh Draper, who's played about 10 to 12 games of footy, Brandon Walker, Heath Chapman, Geordie Clark, and Luke Ryan, defending against one of the most potent attacking sides in the competition, and they held up well all day long. Josh Draper in particular in that last quarter, playing on a Marty and Logan McDonald and even McLean at times. He was massive, kept winning contest after contest. So much valuable experience in that game for young Josh Draper. Sydney are a side that really ride momentum. Once they get control of a game, they put teams to the sword and pile in, 5 or 6 goals in quick succession. But we did well to buffer that pressure, as JL said in the post game, and answer back when they started kicking goals. Our forward line is so dynamic and it's really coming together now. Josh Tracy's that big contested mark, brings the physicality, just provides a great contest. And then you got Jai Amos, whose leading patterns are great. His set shot goal kicking is coming back. His follow-up efforts are getting there as well. Sam Switkowski, so quick and agile. His pressure that he brought all day was absolutely immense. One of the best games that Sam Switkowski has ever played for me. And Sammy Sturt, this guy who struggled to play consistent footy throughout his career, has played his best month of footy by a mile. He's kicked, I think, 3 goals a game in 3 of his last 4 or something like that. But he's getting up the ground and providing a real valuable piece for us structurally, which has probably been an improvement on Michael Walters. Our midfield dominated the best midfield in the competition, and I firmly believe that functionally Freo have the best midfield in the comp. The chemistry is off the chain. Young, Sarong, Brayshaw and Fife always know where the next link in the chain is. And big Sean Darcy dominated Grundy, who people have been saying has been one of the best ruckmen this season. So some respect needs to be given to Darcy and our midfield because that was just an absolute masterclass against a side that no one's really been able to crack this year. We're the easiest team to write off because we're from the other side of the country. People think we're pretenders, that we play boring footy, but what can you say now? We're 3rd in the comp. We've beaten Sydney. We got robbed against Carlton. Should have won that game. We are as real as it gets. And I think we're looking pretty good for a prelim if we can keep this up and not ride the highs too high and the lows too low. But as a fan, you can. So come on, Dockers. Flag mantle is real. Number 3. The Dogs' defensive game has gone up a level. The Dogs kept Nick Larkey scoreless, and if you can do that against the Roos, you've pretty much won the game. But the Roos competed well, and they've had a good month of footy. We saw Rory Lobb play behind the ball a bit more and take massive intercept grabs, and that's one thing that Rory Lobb is actually good at, that long down the line kick, rather if he's in attack, taking that mark, or in this case, in defence. He took massive intercept marks all day, which allows the load of Liam Jones to go slightly down, and then those guys that run off half back can have a bit more freedom to go forward with Rory Lobb down there. So an interesting move from Luke Beveridge, and I don't mind it. because obviously lob up forward and in the ruck is not getting the results that you need. So lob behind the ball, I like it. And just the intensity that they pressure with now, it's just gone up a level in the last sort of 7 to 8 weeks of footy, just outside of the 8, but we could see them rise in this upcoming round. Number 4. The evolution of the Suns list is exciting. The Suns at home, still unbeaten. This side is scary when they're up there on the Gold Coast. As soon as they leave it, absolutely stinking. But, man, to beat Collingwood, again, Nick Dacos and co, one of the best midfields and most damaging midfields in the competition, the Suns put their claim to say we are a serious side at home. Let me emphasise, at home, good. Away from home, diabolical. I don't get it because the intent that they played with at Metricon was night and day compared to what it was at Optus Stadium last Sunday. Just their intensity, their ball movement from their defensive half to their front half was levels and levels above. And we've seen your guys like Rowell, Anderson, Ben King and Mac Andrews really come on this year, but there's a new evolution to this list that I'm liking to see. They've gone to the draft and they've got, your Jed Walters, guys like that, but Euland, Will Graham, Closey, and then all the rest that they got in this year's draft have been very, very highly rated this season. So they've got their franchise stars in Rowell, Anderson, Ben King, the face of the company. But now they're bringing in that next wave of talent that's going to elevate these guys to an even higher level. List management, big tick for the Gold Coast Suns, and these young players are performing big roles in season 2024. The future is bright on the Gold Coast. Number 5. What are you made of, Essendon? The going got tough. There was wet conditions at the G. The umpires were against them, and Essendon lose to a struggling Geelong side by 45 points. Now, everyone's sort of been saying that Essendon could be on the pretender watch. We've seen Essendon over the years have a good sort of month to 6 weeks of footy, and you think finals, and then they just fall short or they don't win a final. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not throwing out Essendon's season right now, but it was worrying to see that. We've got the Pies, they've got Melbourne. In about a month's time, they've got the Dockers at the G as well. So in this next month of footy, we're going to see if Essendon truly have the minerals. If they truly have what it's going to take to play and win in finals, we're going to see it. Their percentage is pretty low, so we'll have to see in these next few weeks. We will be shown who the true Essendon Bombers are. What are they made of? But let's give credit to Geelong. Their transition game was back flying. Their forward line looks more dynamic, I think, without Tom Hawkins. They were very good, to be fair to them. So Geelong could be on a little bit of a late season form slump incline. Let's go with that. Still in the top 8 with that great start to the season that they had. So that's a massive 4 points for the Cats. Number 6, Ranken lowers the Giants' power ranking. Banner. Izak Rankine is one of the most dangerous players in the competition, and GWS could not stop this man. 27 touches, 2 goals, 3, probably the best on ground. Just looks so threatening every side he got the ball inside 50. And you look at the experience of this midfield of GWS, Stephen Cornelio, you got Wards, Kellys, Callahan's good enough, Tom Green. You'd think these guys could put it together to stop him. And they didn't. They just had no answer for him and didn't really have the intent to go after him. I had GWS right up there in the top sort of 3 teams in the competition about a month ago, but their last really 2 months of footy has been really subpar. With the talent that they have, with the footy we've seen them play this year, it's really disappointing for the Giants, who have begun to slide. What are you guys saying about GWS? I'd be interested to have your say, so let me know in the comments, where do you think GWS's season is headed? Number 7. Ken's post-game honesty was brilliant. Last week I was on here saying the time's up for Ken Hinkley. The writing's on the wall. We've seen this before. And to a degree we have. Scraping a win against a struggling St Kilda side isn't the most impressive thing I've ever seen by a long shot. But for him to come out after the game and show the emotion and show how much love he has for the playing group, it just confirmed to me that he hasn't lost the playing room just yet. They all get behind him. And they still have belief that Ken is the man to lead them to the promised land. Obviously, when your football club is struggling and hasn't had that success for a long time, you're always going to look and point at the coach. But the emotion that he showed, the transparency, the honesty, that is highly admirable in a man that is leading your football club. So I think Ken earned some respect back and showed what the job means to him, what the club means to him, and that the boys are behind him. So although they have a long way to go, and they have a lot of gears to go up if they're going to be anywhere near it, I think that should earn some respect back in the Port Adelaide fans' books. Number 8, The Blues go berserk in the premiership term. The third quarter of the premiership term, they call it, is where Carlton absolutely ripped this game apart. The intensity started to really lift after Richmond kicked, I think it was 4 goals straight or something like that in that second term. The game was on, and you could just feel the game was on a knife's edge. There was a point where the ball just sort of kept going end to end. There was massive contests going in, and Carlton broke through and got that goal. And once that first goal went in, they just absolutely piled it on and kicked what felt like 5 goals in 5 minutes and put the game to bed at the blink of an eye. This is what great teams do. When they realise that they're on top of the contest, that they're winning the hard ball, they put teams to the sword. When you're getting them repeat entries and repeat goals out of the midfield as well, that is scary. Walsh, Kennedy, Cripps all popping up for goals at a vital time in the game, which ended proceedings, and Carlton cruised home to a nice 60-point win. And I thought the Tigers were actually all right on the day, but they just showed that the Blues have gears to go, and in that third term, that is where premierships are won. Massive performance from the Blues, and just another feather in the cap of what's been a great season so far. And number 9, big Lloyd Meek has arrived. West Coast back to playing stinky footy. We love to see it, and the Hawks just rolled over the top of them. But I'm loving watching big Lloyd Meek be the first ruck at an AFL club at such an exciting side as well. Obviously, come from Freo, so I did get to watch his career progress through Peel and at the Dockers, and he was always playing second fiddle to Sean Darcy. When you're not playing consistent footy, you never really get to see what a player's strengths are. So like Sam Cert for the Dockers, we can finally see what sort of player he's going to become, and we never got to see that with Lloyd Meek because he wasn't playing consistent footy. But big Lloyd, he's looking strong. He's looking big, mobile, much more mobile than he was at the Dockers. And he's just using that big frame and that big body to grow into the game, dominating the hit-outs and giving those Hawks mids first use. You can see him starting to mature as a player, and he's a massive asset to this Hawthorn side. He was taking big marks up forward, helping the Hawks win the clearance game, and was just a really important player on the day. So it's great to see him get the opportunity and take it with both hands at such an exciting club. So there's the 9 things that we learned from round 16. Get in the comments below and let me know what you thought of this round of footy. Leave a like on the video before you click off. And once again, thank you very much for 10,000 subscribers. I feel like we're not even going yet. I feel like this is not even the start of some really exciting things to come in the future. So I appreciate you guys for supporting the channel over the years, and if you've just hopped on board, welcome. I'll see you in the next video. I appreciate you watching. Until then, take care, you plonkers.